Another dastardly plane crash. Ah, be afraid. Not really. Welcome to the Super Pilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today, in my nice safe basement, I'm going to be talking to you about a video that I saw on the YouTubes, and it was just a nice little video of kind of an expensive crash, but everybody walked away. No one was hurt. And so I don't mind talking about those types of accidents if no one's hurt. Definitely no one's a fatality. And yeah, but we can always learn about these things and become safer pilots. So let's get to this cool video right away. And I must say, these other videos I've been showing, I haven't been as good about giving credit where credit is due. So I found this one on a guy's YouTube channel. He goes by Jeeper Cole, and the name of the video is "One Way to Crash an Airplane." So let's get to the video. Whoop, not that one. Oh, come on, man. That's not right. Okay, let's try this again. Here we go. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so what happened in that thing? What I'll do is I'll kind of do a play-by-play on that later. And I got to adjust my camera here too. There we go. Okay, I'll do a little play-by-play on that a little bit later. But essentially what happened was this was, by the looks of things, it was a stole competition. And if you don't know what stole is, I will get out the whiteboard and I'll be using all of my training aids here today. Okay, what is stole? Stole, that is for short takeoff and landing. There we go. Stole, short takeoff and landing. So there's a lot of people up in Alaska that are pretty pretty crazy in their airplanes, and they do all kinds of wacky short takeoffs and landings. You've probably seen some videos and stuff like that on YouTube about taking off from riverbeds, and like the type of airplanes they have, it's surprisingly not that unsafe. I mean, they got great big huge Tundra tires on there. The plane in this video, it's I was trying to figure out what kind of plane it was because it had these slats on the front, the leading edge of the front of the wing. And I was like, I put it into Grok, and Grok said it was a Piper Super Cub, but it's like Super Cub. They don't have slats, but apparently there's this company called Backcountry Super Cubs, and they sell a slat kit that you can put on the plane for even shorter takeoff and landing. So there we go. That's what this plane was. So we're checking out the Super Cub. Yeah, these Alaskan guys, they love just like modifying their planes, put gigantic engines in them, and like, oh, I got to take off in 10 feet, which, you can't do that. You got enough horsepower and stuff. So I'm going to do a little bit of a play-by-play on this video, and see if I can get it up here again. How do we do this? Boom. Okay, we're going to try this off again. That's at the end of that. I'll kind of, this is where I'll talk over top of the video. We'll see what's going on. Okay, we're in our short takeoff and landing competition. That's what I'm guessing is going on here. And this guy has to land as short as possible. And it seems like this thing is coming in so slow, but it's designed for that. And there's probably a pretty stiff headwind here. So his ground speed's very slow. And here we go. So you can see he's kind of dragging it in on the propeller here. Us pilot people would say he's on the back end of the power curve. that doesn't mean anything to non-pilots, but he's very close to the wings not flying. And boom, left wing stopped flying, and it went down to the ground. So I'm gonna check that out again, and I'm gonna pause it. So coming along, and what? So one of the things about flying an airplane is that if the wing stops flying, you could have the right or the left wing stop flying first, and that gets you into a pretty dangerous situation, which will put you into a spin. And that's essentially what happened to this plane, but it's so slow, so low to the ground, no big deal. And you can hear the engine kind of revving up and down, and at that point where, yeah, okay, I'll show my training aids later, but at that point, he's using the throttle a lot to determine the altitude of the airplane, not so much the speed. If he wanted to change the airspeed, he would be changing the pitch of the airplane, but that's getting pretty technical here. So let's go. I'm going to stop this a little bit later here. Okay, now here we can see how his wings are just a little bit starting to bank to the left. Okay, so his left wing is starting to stall here, so it's not flying, and the right wing is still flying, so that's going to make you bank to the left. And and by the way, the right wing, left wing for an airplane, anything on an airplane is from the perspective of the pilot. So whether the propeller turns clockwise or counterclockwise, or your right wing or your left wing, or your right landing gear, left landing gear, that's from the perspective of the pilot. So here his left wing, it's starting to not fly here, not good. And you can see the slats on the leading edge of the wing, maybe. There we go. They're all out, so that's good for slow performance of your airplane. But what's I'm watching for here is, okay, now if you want that left wing to start flying more, you'd think you get the stick and just bring it over to the right. Well, that's what he does, but at this low speed, that's actually you're not supposed to do that. Ideally, you should be using a bunch of rudder here. The rudder will make the left wing, if you put the right rudder in there, it'll swing the left wing faster than the right wing, so it'll get some more lift, and it won't be banking over like that. Okay, we're getting all technical here, and let's keep an eye on the ailerons. Okay, now here, I don't know if you can see that exactly with your resolution, but here I can see that the right aileron is up. So he just cranked the aileron right over, and it's a little hard to see, but at this point, he should have full right rudder in there, and it looks to me like there's almost no rudder with a whole bunch of aileron there. And so this is, as they say, this is aggravating the stall or aggravating the spin. And yeah, but how high is he off the ground? About 10 feet? Not too bad. Now, if you do this when you're turning, say maybe you're at 500 feet above the ground and this happens, this is where everybody, that's where the fatalities happen. And that happens, unfortunately, a little too much. And that's why we should always be practicing stalls and even spins if you can get an instructor to go up with you and and they want to do it. So I like doing spins. They're kind of fun, but not at this altitude. I like to do it up at about 4,000 or 3,500, 4,000, 4,500 feet. And then you got you got 1,000 feet to recover with thousands of feet to spare. That's the way I like to do it. I don't do it at 10 feet like this guy, but this looked like it was a whoops. And let's continue the whoops. Okay, you can still see here he's got a whole bunch of right aileron into that. And the rudder doesn't look like it's fully deflected over. So that was, this is probably, I would imagine, I'll bet you any money. This is the arm. I should have got my armchair out for my armchair quarterbacking, but this guy was most likely did this a million times, no problem. But if this is a competition, I can see some pylons out there, and as you see it kind of spin around and crash around, there's some people there watching. So I think that's why this was a competition. So people were spotting to see exactly where the wheels land. And yeah, so when that happens, um, yeah, so yeah, like if that happens, you're going to be in a competition, and some pilots are very, very competitive. I'm not really too competitive. I guess maybe with myself, but I've seen it, and I've been involved as like a judge for landing competitions, and you can see the competitive guys. They're the more competitive ones. Yeah, they just slam it on the runway. They don't, yeah, and it's quite easy to break an airplane if you slam it on the runway, but you'll win. So it's kind of how much money do you got to fix your plane? Uh, is your insurance broker a good friend of yours? So let's go back to our little video here again, and let's do. Okay, yeah, we'll continue the crash. It's banked over. The left wing is now pretty much fully stalled. The right wing is flying a little bit, and that'll put you around. Okay, then he did manage to get the power off, which is cool. And that's what you can see, these guys that are by the truck. So I think that's what they're looking to judge the landing competition, because normally, and even for me, I would say that's too close to the runway for the judges to be. Ideally, if you're going to be clear of a runway, it's got to be 200 feet. I think it's 200 feet back. So, oh man, I used to know that. Let me Google that. Clear. It's either 100 feet or 200 feet. I thought it was 200 feet. I just did a show on that. I should know that better. Okay, what do we got here? Oh yeah. In ground control, an expression indicating that a vehicle or an aircraft is at least 200 feet clear of the nearest edge of the runway in use. Okay, so yeah, if you are legally in Canada, anyways, if you're going to be legally, I thought it was 200 feet. You got to be 200 feet back from the edge of the runway. And if we look at this truck, that is not 200 feet back from the edge of the runway. This would be considered in Canada at a controlled airport. It would be considered a runway incursion. But uncontrolled airports, hey, they do what they want. You're in Alaska. Oh well, live on the edge, I guess. Okay, and we'll see him spin around. Ooh, there's a bent wingtip. And there we go. So, I mean, the plane doesn't look, I bet you it would be, that plane would probably be pretty tough. I'd say you probably got some runway rash there, and maybe bent a little metal in the wingtip. Okay. So there we go. That was one plane crash. One way to crash a plane by Jeeper Cole on his YouTube channel. And yeah, so it's kind of like that was like a kind of a little whoops, but that could have been avoided. So just saying. And there's a lot of factors that got into that crash. So, and it doesn't matter where you have a great big jet or something like that unfortunately, oh no, it goes down in the Pacific or the Atlantic, or something goes wrong and there's like a really nasty accident. But even here, there's always like they call it the chain of events, where it's like links of a chain and they all kind of go together. How would I do that? Your links of the chain. Whereas if any one of those links in the chain is not there, then the accident doesn't happen. And there's usually a lead up to an accident. You can always count on like five. They like to call it the 5 whys. That's one way of investigating things. So 5 whys. If any one of those 5 didn't happen, it would be the guy didn't crash his plane. So Okay, what's one of the what we're gonna look for 5 things that are super pilot is 5. Yeah, we're gonna do 5. So what 5 things could this pilot have done differently? Okay, number 1. I'm assuming this is a competition. Don't go in the competition. Then you're not pushing the plane right to the very edge and getting close and cutting your margins of safety down. Just fly it normally, dude. You'd probably be fine. Okay. The other one is like, okay, well, why did it do a stall spin like that? If the guy used less aileron, might have done okay because that aggravated it. If he used more rudder, that might have even overcome the aileron, and it would have been a straighter, not such a gradual flop over. I guess that's a pilot term. Okay, there's 3 things that could have been different. Um, How competitive is the guy? Was he chilled out like me or super competitive? That might be something there too. What else would there be? Oh, another thing there too, the competition, the pressure's on, right? So if you didn't go in the competition, yeah, but a competition, that is another thing. What if it was a competition and nobody was watching? People are watching you. You're trying to do the best landing of your life. You see that all the time at Oshkosh every year. And the pressure's on. I got to do a fantastic landing here. Then you screw it up because the pressure's too much. So maybe all that, if one of those things, if he wasn't in a competition, would have been fine. Rudder, aileron, didn't do that. And we also don't know how experienced this person is for flying the airplane at that low speed. Maybe it's just or he's experimenting with his new slats he just put in. We don't know that either. There's a few unknowns here that if there was an investigation, which there would in this case, would that be considered an accident? The aircraft was damaged on a critical surface, so that would be considered an accident, not an incident. Is it a reportable accident? I would say so. Yeah, I think so. Hard to say. No one was injured though. Because I know there you can check out like on the NTSB or TSB websites that what is a reportable accident? I don't even know. So that's one of the things about being a pilot is that you don't have to know everything. Reportable accident. You don't have to know everything, but you do have to know how to look it up. Oh, reportable accident aviation. Let's try that. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, so we're going on the Transport Canada. Report an incident affecting airport or aerodrome safety. When are you required to report? Okay. Okay, you must report serious aviation accidents to the Transportation Safety Board. So I'm pretty sure in Canada, it's probably about the same as the States. Okay, death or injury, didn't count on this case. Missing aircraft, okay, that's not it. Collision, so it wasn't a collision with a building or another aircraft or something, not a collision. Major structural problems with aircraft. So I guess, and then what's the definition of a major structural problem with an aircraft? Okay, so I would say, yeah, you could probably, if the plane's not flyable because the wing's damaged, that would be major. I would report it. But okay, so what else can I tell you here? I even downloaded some other cool pictures to show you. So just for fun, I'll show you this. Wait a minute. How do we do this now? Hey, there we go. So this is what the guys, we can assume, okay, now this is exaggerating. So this is what happened. The left wing was like on the bottom. So you got all that burbling, as they call it. It's not nice, smooth air creating lift. The RW you see there, that's it's called I guess that stands for relative wind. And so on the one on the top, that's still flying. And the one on the bottom, that's not flying. And you can see how it's going through the air. One's got more angle, one's got less. So that's a very big exaggeration of what happened with the left wing not flying and the right wing still flying. And the aileron will change the shape of the wing to theoretically make it like this. Okay, we're getting a little too technical here. And okay, so that's about it. No one in the chat. Hey, I'm by myself back in the basement again. Who cares? All right, so that was that. And there's no questions or comments or anything like that today, so that's pretty easy. And okay, go out there, fly safe, folks, and keep your airspeed up. You know, go out and practice some stalls, spins with an instructor, and there you go. So hopefully this will not happen to you. Okay, see now, today is Monday. I guess that's why there's no one in the chat. So everyone's all recovering from the weekend. So no, it's not Monday. What am I talking about? It's Wednesday. I think I got all turned around because of that crash. Yeah, it's Wednesday. What am I talking about? So I'll be back on Friday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And we'll just kind of shut her down. So thank you. I usually look at the chat stuff and say thank you for watching, guys, but no one showed up. So whoever else is watching out there in YouTube land, thank you for watching. Bye.